when you report 1 mile, it means the cost for that 1 mile for your fuel is 65.5 cents.
Our responsibility is to pay attention on W-2.
On W-2 to file your taxes.
Okay.
The W-4 looks like this.
Okay.
And it's actually called Employees Withholding Certificate. This is for the company or organization that
And they report to IRS.
Correct. They report to the IRS that this is the form we get from our contractor. If a person work with Amazon as their delivery driver, with Uber as their taxi driver, stuff like that, or as in DoorDash, whoever,
or
Uber Eat, at the end of the year they receive a 1099 NEC and 1099K.
Thank you very much. Welcome back, Smart Movers. I'm going to ask this question: what type of forms do we require to file? I have heard that there is 1099 and there is W-2. There are a lot of forms, sometimes I messed up with that. I would love if you can explain all the forms overall that we deal with.
Yeah, of course. That's a great question, actually. Basically, when someone starts employment with a company as an employee, they have to fill a form called W-4.
W-4? Correct. You have it here?
And
okay.
The W-4 looks like this.
Okay.
And it's actually called Employees Withholding Certificate. It explains to the employer that what amount of taxes they have to turn or deduct from the employee.
Okay.
Specifically on their federal taxes.
Good. What about the other form?
And the other form we have is the W-4. At the end of the year, you get the W-2 form from that employer.
So the one is at the beginning,
and the other is at the end.
At the end.
We don't require the W-4 because that's not our responsibility to file our taxes. That's only you're reporting to the government or to the employer that this is my condition and you can turn that amount of taxes. And the W-2 reports to you and to the government that this is the amount of taxes we took from you throughout the year, and we need that one to file our taxes.
So we are not obligated for the first form that you say W-4. Our responsibility is to pay attention on W-2.
On W-2 to file your taxes.
Okay.
Correct.
What about other forms?
And the other one is we have W-9.
Okay. What about other one? After you name it, then I will request you if you can explain everyone.
Correct. So the other one is the 10 NEC, and we have 10 miscellaneous, and the other one is 10K, 1099K, basically, this way. And
so, can you briefly explain all?
Sure. The W-9 is actually a request for taxpayer identification number and certification. This form is given to the employer, or employer have to report it to the IRS that this is the information from the contractor, individual contractor, or a company, or a self-employer, or whoever.
So now you are talking about the independent contractor.
Independent contractor.
Okay, this 1099 is for independent contractor.
Correct. So
not for the employee.
Not for the employee, of course. So once you fill the W-9, it means in the W-9 you can either put your EIN number or a social security number. The social security number put in here, it means that this is your individual, you are an individual contractor working with a company, and you're not paying taxes to the government.
Can I see this form?
Sure.
Okay. Oh yeah. Do they also provide their city, address, accounts that they have?
It's very brief. You put your name, your social security, and your address.
I see there is S corporation. And
yes, if you're not an individual or a sole proprietor, you are now a corporation or a C Corp. There are other forms.
This form is not only for the independent contractors, but for businesses also.
For businesses, correct.
Okay, that's cool. That's great. If a person is interpreter or translator,
yes,
they also do this.
They definitely have to. If they're a self-employer, they don't have to do this. Example, they are not working with a company as a contractor. They don't have to fill this form.
But if they get contract, like suppose I receive a call from UCI, they say, hey Siam, can you provide interpretation on this day?
Correct.
For 5 hours?
Yes.
I do that.
So they require this form from you.
Oh, they require from me.
They require it from you, and they say, fill this form for us so we know your business condition. You put your social security, your EIN number as a business, or you put your social security as a sole proprietor or as individual contractor.
It doesn't have a lot of info.
So here's your
so these are the required documents.
Yeah,
and this is for the organization.
This is for the company or organization that
and they report to IRS.
Correct. They report to the IRS that this is the form we get from our contractor. This is their condition.
Good.
And at the end of the year, basically, they report 1099 to you and to the IRS.
The government, the organization.
The organization
report
that this person paid this amount. We paid to this person this amount of money right here. Non-employee compensation. You're not employee. You earned like 100,000 from a company, and they didn't pay your taxes.
Good. Now, if I file my taxes as independent contractor, how should I do that?
So an independent contractor, you should have your 1099 with you.
Okay.
And you have to file your income. Whatever income is written here, you have to file that income into your,
Should I have my supporting documents also?
Of course, if it depends. If you're a self-employer,
yes.
Example, you have business and you want to file it. For business, this form is not working.
Okay.
There's 1120, another form that you have to fill that form in order to report your taxes.
But for the independent contractors like Uber drivers, Lyft,
correct,
DoorDash, Amazon,
they receive this from the DoorDash company. If a person work with Amazon as their delivery driver, with Uber as their taxi driver, stuff like that, or as in DoorDash, whoever,
or
Uber Eat, at the end of the year they receive a 1099 NEC and 1099K. So in 1099 NEC and 1099K, the total amount, whatever it is, that should be your taxable income.
Then you put that one in your 1099?
In order to file your taxes,
yes.
You put that in 1040.
In 1040?
In 1040.
Okay, so what about 1099?
So yeah, that's what the 1099.
The 1099 sent by the company.
By the company to you at the end of the year, where it says this is the amount you earn the whole year.
Okay, so now the W-2 will provide by the organization to you that this is your status.
Correct.
And through that you file your taxes.
Your taxes.
If you're an independent contractor, so the organization that you work for, like Uber, Amazon, anyone, they will provide you the 1099.
Correct.
This is your status.
This is your compensation you receive from
and
us.
From that you file 1040.
1040.
Okay, so what if some people have extra expenses? Suppose I'm an Uber driver, the Uber provide me, I have like 40,000 mileage.
Correct.
So what if I have extra expenses?
So I forgot to tell you to print that form too. The Uber usually give you one more form, which is usually on your application, the Uber application. That's called summary form. In the summary form, they explains how much money they put on your 1099 NEC and 1099K, and what is the amount they turn as their expenses from you.
Okay.
So while you're filing your taxes, you have to report that expenses as your expenses, and the mileage. The mileage we talked about earlier. You have to file the number of mileage that's written on that summary page. Example, the Uber provide you the summary page, and they say you drove for us 45 or 60,000 miles.
Yeah, and also you said that IRS will give you the incentives of
correct
per mileage. They will
that's actually the cost per mile. Example, when you report 1 mile, it means the cost for that 1 mile for your fuel is 65.5 cents.
65. This is for fuel. This is for the car compensation. Like is also oil change.
No, we report that differently. So that's only for the fuel expenses. You know, the 65.5% or 5 cent is the fuel expense for per mile.
Okay.
That's a good record. You can show to the IRS that this is the mileage I drove my car the whole year. Example, you drove 100,000 miles, and now when you put it on your, on your 1040 Schedule C, 1099 Schedule C, there's another schedule that I have to explain. There you put that mileage, and this, you can multiply it manually, or if you're using a software, they will multiply everything. So you require to have your starting mileage, your business mileage throughout the year, and your ending mileage. At the end, whatever mileage comes out.
So you also say that we need to have our oil change and other expenses.
So other expenses, you can put your maintenance, which is oil change, your car wash, your
so
internet
should I have
fee.
the receipt for that or the credit card?
It's necessary to have every single document. That's called supporting document for every. It's not really necessary, but it's good for your audit purpose.
So suppose I wash my car, I went there, they didn't provide me anything.
They do. While you go to when you pay, they give you a receipt. If you don't want to take it, that's your choice.
Okay, if someone doesn't have that, so what should they do? They should just ignore it?
No, they still have to report that. They can give an average amount of money that they spend throughout the year to wash their car. But for future, I recommend they have a document. But that's not too much. That's why it's not very much considerable.
Yeah.
The important thing is you repaired your car, you have an expense, you can report that one.
So if it happened, like suppose I had an accident and that insurance cover everything, insurance company cover
that's not counted then.
Okay.
And example, you bought napkins for your car.
Yes.
You can report that. You bought spray for your car. You can report that because
handling.
Yeah, you can report.
What about if I eat lunch somewhere?
You can report that. That's food expense.
That's food expense?
Yeah, the IRS will count 50% of your food expense. Example, you spend $20 a day, they will count it as 10% or $10 a day.
Oh, okay.
50%, yeah.
So Uber drivers, they should have their
receive that receipt for every day they are spending for their, or they can have a record of their workbook.
Yeah.
I eat at home, but I spend that money. An adjustable amount.
Oh, this is I didn't know about this. That's great.
That's something. When audit come to you, they tells you said I spent $10 on lunch during this year. Where's the bill? If you don't have the bill, where is a record of your expenses that shows that this is the date, this is the expenses, this is the hotel, or my home, I expended this much money. This is called, a personal account. You have a personal account holder that you can record everything.
And also it is all on credit card. So what about that?
Yeah, that's a good thing. You have all the credit and debits on your statement. If you're a good accountant or a basic accountant, you can go there and download your bank statement, and you can highlight all the expenses you made throughout the year.
Yes.
Or throughout the day, throughout the month, and you can write it down. This expense is for this purpose.
Ah, that is good. That is a good record then.
That's a good record.
Yeah.
You have a supporting document. Okay, you say this amount of money is for lunch. You have a bill.
So suppose we have these all, where we should record that one when we are filing our taxes?
When you are filing your taxes on 1040, there's another form you have to attach. It's called 1099. In 1099, there's another form where you write down all the income and expenses.
That is only 1099 or 1099K you said before.
Correct. That's 1099. That's all. I mean, when I say 1099, it's 1099 MSC, miscellaneous 1099 NEC, non-employment compensation 1099K. 1099K is actually a breakdown of your monthly income from Amazon, from whoever.
So if someone is independent contractor, so they only deal with 1099, these three forms that you said?
Yeah, they should
and
have
also
this.
the 1040.
1040, yeah. So in order to file their taxes, they have to fill profit and loss form, which is called Schedule C. In Schedule C, you report your mileage, your expenses, all the expenses.
Schedule C is part of which form? There is different form?
That's a form connected to 1099 and connected to 1040 while you're reporting them, because in the income side you report the W-2 income right here, or the 1099 right around here. Yeah, the 1099, you file all the expenses right here. Income. This is the income portion. And when you have Schedule C, there's another line that reports that this is your expenses. So this form basically grab all the information or all your gross income or adjustable gross income.
So if someone use online like TurboTax form,
okay,
everything done by them?
They can do everything themselves, yeah, because they have all the proofs with them. They have what I'm saying. They should, they should file their 1099, including with Schedule C, where they can put everything.
So now the question is here: why people should go to accountant?
Well, the accountant are experts. They file those, continuously, and they have more knowledge about, because there are a lot of terms that general people, common people doesn't understand, or they can make mistake. If someone is educated and they understand, or they can search those terms, it's better for them to go ahead and fill their forms. But when you go for a tax preparer and pay $100 or $150 fee, it means that you're more confident on what they file for you on your behalf. So that's one of the reasons they can, it can avoid risk.
Yeah. So I really suggest for the refugees, the people who are new in the U.S., it's quite tricky. At least for 1, 2, 3, or 4 years, they should go to accountant and they clear their taxes properly to avoid any misunderstanding in the future. Of course, it is user friendly, but I have seen lots of people. It is quite tricky, and they mislead, and they provide wrong information. Correct. And at the end they complain, oh, I have this, I have that. So
you said refugees, specifically from those poor countries, it's very common. They don't file taxes on annual basis, and it's a new idea for them. A general think that they have to file their taxes in the US. They have to follow the law, and they have to understand all the concept behind this. So the good thing is that there are tax preparers specifically in this area who speak on their language, and they can explain things very well to them. So one of the things I suggest and recommend to the taxpayers, that when you are filing your taxes, you should have your complete documents. If you're a W-2 employee, you can put expenses like your medical expenses that's higher than certain amount of money, or you can put your mortgage on it, or you can put your, if you work from home, you can put a certain amount of money on. And in order to pay lesser taxes, you can have some charities during the year which lower your income, because charity is not taxable.
Yes.
And stuff like that. And for 1099 and 1099 employees, I request them to still have the documents. Example, all the expenses they make throughout the year, and make a file. It's a very good organization of your documents, organized person. Example, your car wash receipt, your food expense receipt, your maintenance receipt, your mileage receipt and these stuff. That's very important while you're filing your taxes.
Well, thank you very much for explaining the forms. Do you have any other form to explain?
So there is plenty of things, but we can put it make it a bit shorter.
We can also put this information on the link. People can download these forms. I will also upload the IRS information on the video description, so they can go to the IRS, because they update each time.
Understandable. Most of the thing that in this form is your tax and credits you are paying, and that tax and credits.
Which form is this?
This is a 1040. That's the other side of the 1040.
Okay.
So in this 1040, it shows, it can calculate the amount of money they are giving it to you as your child tax credit and earned income credit. And the payment section, that's also giving you the W-2 and 1099 return. Example, you're filing for your kids, and whatever money you paid to the federal, that's returnable, and that could be something. And the refund portion is the amount of money you were being refunded, and amount owed. That's the important topic that you should take care of. That if you have penalty on 1 year, you can have a lot of adjustment. We can give you advice on how to adjust that one.
And if for independent contractor, if someone should pay $10,000 to IRS and they don't have, what is the solution?
The solution is they can pay in installments.
Does that include interest or no?
No.
It is not interest?
If they pay it on time, no interest is included. You can pay your state dueable amount in 2 installments, and federal in 4 installments. And yeah, that's a helpful tip. Thank you for bringing that question. And the other form that I was trying to talk about is 1040X. The 1040X is actually the amended form. If you filed by mistake the 1040 and you say, oh, there's something that I left, I owe, or there are more refund that I have to receive, you can still file another form after this, the 1040X.
This is amendment.
This is amendment.
The correction, we say.
The correction of that.
Yeah, that's good. This is helpful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure.
So you explained W-9. Did you explain this is for the? You said for the organization.
This is when someone want to work with an organization, with a company as a contractor.
Okay, good. Is there a specific amount that how much should be the amount that they work, or it's like?
Yeah, like for this year is $700.
If you earn $700, you should file this.
No, you have to. You will receive 1099, and you already have this with your employer or whatever company you worked from at the beginning of the year. This is something you give it to the company at the beginning.
And then you can ask something from the company for your record or no? Like if I give this to the company
at the beginning of the year.
So I'm not W-2. I'm like independent contractor.
Yeah.
So at the beginning I give this.
Do
they provide anything?
Yeah, they provide you the 1099 at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, the 1099 shows that this was your information. According to this information, this is the money I gave it to you at the end.
So suppose I work for one organization for 10 hours.
Okay.
And I filed this one, and now they are filing their taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So can I ask them that provide me the 1099?
Yes, of course, because they should do it by themselves, even if you don't ask them. If they didn't, then you can request, hey, give me my 1099 for the 10 hours I work with you.
Oh, okay. So like, as I said, 10 hours, is there any specific number? Like if I work for $300 for a company, suppose I just work.
That's not taxable, so they don't provide that. Even if you work with Uber for a week and you earn $500, they will not provide you a tax 1099.
Yeah, that's not that a lot. Well, thank you very much. I think you almost covered all the parts, and it was useful. Such a useful information.
I hope it was useful.
If you have anything at the end you want to share with the audience, please. Otherwise, I think I will request you for another 10-15 minutes to explain these all in Pashto language.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you have anything, please.
I think there are plenty of information we talked about, and it's each form should be explained in detail. and it needs an hour or more than an hour to be explained, but let me just make it summarize.
Yes.
So what we talked about at the beginning of the year, whenever you start working with a company, you have to fill a form that's called W-4. And in W-4, you explain to them that how much money they have to turn or take as their taxable amount. And at the end of the year, they provide you a W-2 form, which gives you the amount of money they paid on your behalf to the government. And you can bring that form to file your taxes. And if you are working as a contractor with Uber or any other company, at the beginning, usually they ask you for W-9. That's very rare for the Uber and stuff, other companies, but it's common for organizations or companies. At the end of the year, they will provide you a 1099, which explains how much money you earn. And in order to file your taxes, you have to fill Form 1040 for Illinois or for any state, and 1040 for federal. And there are other, forms that should be connected with it. That's a big story. You can have the instructions in IRS, website and all these forms.
And last, can you give me information about the percentage of tax that individual as an independent contractor should pay? How much is the percentage?
So the percentage, everything depends. I can't give you an exact number or an average. It depends on your earned income, and it depends on your expenses. Let me give you an example. If you have a family of 3 and you earned like $60,000 in Uber, there are a certain amount of expenses. Example, you put $30,000 all your mileage expenses and all Uber expenses. Now you have $30,000 left. In $30,000, you don't have to pay any taxes because you basically earn more money or get more refund because of your kids. If you're a single, then you have to pay at least like $3,000 to $5,000 taxes to the government. If you don't pay it, they're gonna come after you.
Oh, okay. How people can find you?
Well, of course, that's a great question. I work here in Chicago. In Chicago, they can find me on zip code 60659 in Devon area, and 2335 West Devon Avenue, Suite 210.
And what's the organization name?
It's the company name is City Consulting.
Yes.
My hours of working is 5 to 8 after evening time on
Do you want to
daily
share your
basis.
email or phone anything with them, or?
Yes, you can always give us a call at 773.
You can always give him a call, but he will not answer. I'm just joking. Please.
Sorry about that. You can give me a call at 773-564-3152, or you can drop us an email at cityconsultinginfo@gmail.com.
Well, thank you very much for your time and information.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.